Hi everyone. So this is the third part in our StarCraft 2 bot series. So in the previous videos we built our defenses and then we kind of built all the buildings and resources. Then we mined the gas, the energy and all those stuff to support our population and get them up and running. In this video what we are going to do is we will take up from there, and I will link that video in the description down below, as well as you can click above to get that video if you have not watched it. And yeah, so in my last video I stopped where we have to build our tech labs. So in order to build our tech lab, as I told you, we had to dynamically pick up some points on the map and then place our tech lab near to our starport, so that we can it has to be built near to the starport, and then sometimes you have to fly that starport to a certain other location so that maybe you can get your uh, tech lab to be placed there. So the point is there should be a space to place the tech lab near the starport, and that you have to dynamically figure out. So what I'm going to do is I came into this particular library that I had linked, and I will link in the description this also. So once there is an example here, and we'll go into the terrain directory since we are using that race, and this example is called one base battlecruise.py. So in this example, if you see, what we can do is we can take some functions from this example directly and utilize them. So these functions, what they do is they just return me those particular points. So I will explain them in the video once I start to, like, we'll go on and I will keep on explaining them. So there's nothing new in it. So this is the first function that I'm placing, and then the second function will be this one, where if the starport flies, then this function gives me the location to basically place the starport down. Let me just indent it perfectly. Yeah, so we have both our functions, and then this is everything, we have that. So now what we can do is, let me just create a new condition here wherein I will check if we have these two buildings. So first one is your fusion core. Again, we can directly take this thing because we have to check the starport and fusion core, both of them. You can build tech lab, but since we had to build battle cruiser, so that cannot be completed without a fusion core, so there's no point in building it. So we do self dot structures and then unit type id dot fusion core. Yeah, so if we have those both buildings ready, then what we are going to do is we will take some other code from this library as well, wherein we will try to figure out the point. So this is where it tells you, let's say if my tech lab is the space is not there to build that tech lab near a starport. So what I'm going to do, I need to fly my starport to a certain position after that. So that's what we are going to do. So this particular function, it does basically that. But before this, let's say if I have the space, right, to build my tech lab, so what I should do is I can use this function, and with this So what it is essentially doing is, it tells, first thing it figures out a, let's say if I have 2-3 starports, so it figures out the first starport that is empty. Then it checks if I can afford the starport tech lab, like if I have the resources for that. After that, what it does is it calls this particular function. So this function does nothing, it gives me two particular values, an x and y axis basically, on the map, and after that I loop on those values. It returns 13 points to me, and that's a good thing. So I loop on all those particular values, and based on certain conditions, like such as if it falls within the map, if it is within the placement grid, and there's no unit, I mean the units can pass through both of those buildings. So these are certain conditions that it checks, and then after that it builds my tech lab. If I am not able to build it, then as I told you, we can use this ability, and any building and even the units, I will show you if we have time, like we can use a battle cruiser unit, or at least I will add that in the code, final code that I will dispatch. So we can use, there are lots of abilities that we can use. So in starport has the ability to fly. So what we'll do, we'll lift up. Once we lift up, then we have to land it somewhere, right? So this particular code does that same thing. So and it calls this particular function to land my starport. Now once we have this, then what we can do is, let's start to build our units. I will loop on all the barracks that we have, since we have two, and this is the generalized code that we will write for all the buildings. We will train marines from the barracks. We will train a unit called HELLION that just fires, I mean it's a mechanical unit, and we'll just train 4 or 5 of them. And then we will train battle cruiser, that is our most important unit. So let's say for barracks, in self dot structures unit type id dot barracks dot ready, and which is ideal, I mean all of them will be ideal starting. Then if self dot can afford unit type id dot marine, and I have to train a certain amount of marines, otherwise it will go on and train as much as possible. Self dot units dot unit type id dot marine dot amount is less than, let's say 20. Then what you can do is, you can do, let me just give it barrack dot train unit type id dot marine, else we'll just break out of this. And what I will do is, I'll just copy and paste this. So in this, let me just paste it here as well. So we will put factory in self dot factory, and we have a unit called as HELLION. So it throws some fire or something, and I'm not sure about it, but this is a good unit, and we'll see how it fares up in the battle. And then we will do factory dot train HELLION, and this is important. Let's say STARPORT in self dot structures dot, we can have like 2-3 starports. Then STARPORT dot train battle cruiser, and this, let's just train 10 of them. We won't utilize, plus it requires a lot of resources also, so I don't think so. I just gave it a number, thinking in a way, that's it. So once we have the units, then what I will do is I will write my code to attack here, because it needs to recursively check in every step that we can attack or not. So before attacking, what I'm going to do is self dot units unit type id dot marine dot amount is, let's give it greater than or equal to 15, since we are okay with any more units that I have. Then self dot units dot unit type id dot HELLION, that's our second unit, and let's give it an amount of we can give it all 5, and then self dot unit dot, you guessed it, probably will use now battle cruiser. So battle, oops, unit type id dot battle, where is my battle cruiser? Oops, I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is my battle cruiser, and here I am going to give it as 5. Now once I have this, then what I have in my mind is, first we will try to attack the enemy units. Any enemy units if are there, then what I'm going to do is, for units we just take all the marines dot ready dot ideal, just take all those marines and attack. Attack, and where I should attack, I will randomly give it the target. So like random dot choice self dot, you can go on and choose your own enemy units, whatever you find it and wherever you find it, sorry. So for, let me just copy this as well, paste it, yep. This is a big name, I'll write this battle cruiser short form. Okay, then if I found, if I don't have enemy units, then next thing is to attack the enemy structures. So for this, just copy this as well and just paste it. Then what I will do is, for marines which are ideal, random, let me remove this random dot choice and just attack self dot enemy structures. So wherever you find the enemy structures, you can go on and attack them. Now if I don't have any of this, then what I'm going to do is I will go on and attack the enemy start location directly. So there is a way where we can get the tentative enemy start location. So we'll go on and attack that. Let me just copy this in the else part. For marine and self dot marine dot attack, self dot enemy start locations, and we'll just go with the first start location that we find. Otherwise it will go, if it goes here, then it will check all these anyways in every step, so we are good. Just put it everywhere. Now one last thing that I need to do is, if you remember in my previous video I had told that the resources will be empty, plus the problem is whenever our workers they get and let's say they are building some building or something, so as I told you in my last video, they became ideal after that. So this will like create all those threads and allocate all the workers, all the ideal workers, to whatever the task that is pending. And then let me just write some code to expand our town hall, because building this much of battle cruisers and it will exhaust all the minerals. So what I'm thinking is, let's just take all the ideal SCVs first. Just indent it correctly. Yep. So let's loop on all the workers. For SCV in self dot units dot unit type id dot scv dot ideal, all the workers which are ideal. So if we get any of them, that means our resources have probably exhausted. So what I can do is, if self dot structures dot unit type id dot command center dot amount is less than 2, because this will exhaust a lot of resources, and self dot we cannot be expanding every time dot can afford this command center and self dot let me just copy this also. There's no pending command center as of now. Dot command center type command center dot self dot already pending dot command center and scv dot gather. What we want to gather? We want to gather some minerals first. What we can do is, we can expand our town hall here, and also irrespective of that we can gather some minerals. So self dot mineral feed, and then what we can also do is, we can even get some gas also, since we have already expanded to a different command center. So we can build a refinery there and get some gas as well. Yep. Yeah. And what I'm thinking is, let's just put this code even after this, because irrespective, once our units are trained, we will like to attack. Yep. So this is good. So now we can start. So I think we are probably done with it. So whatever we need, and I guess after this we should be able to attack as well. So let me just run this bot, and I think so this should work. So what I'm thinking, like after we are done with this, then probably we need to send some units continuously to attack. So we'll do that later on. For the time being, I think this should be enough. And yeah, so let's see. So we have our refineries, and then this is the engineering bay. So both of the refineries are built on the geysers. I think we are good to go. It's pretty fast, you see. Once you do this without bot, then it takes a lot of time. Yes. So we have our barracks as well. What I will do, I will just put the rally point. I mean, we can do this automatically as well. That is also possible inside the library. For now, I'm just going to put it manually. So every unit that is created from the factory and the barracks, it would be rallied at this point. So we're able to club them, and see we have our missile turrets here. Let me just zoom a little bit to show you. Yeah. And these are our marines, and this is the HELLION that I was talking about, this particular unit. So we are probably waiting on StarPort and Tech Lab. So from there we can create battle cruisers. Yeah. So I guess we have our supply depots going on, and eventually, since I'm seeing the minerals also depleted little bit, so what we need to do now, we need to expand at this particular location, and here we have minerals as well as geysers to pump out the gas. So this is our starport. Okay, we have one range of attack, I think. Almost all the units are depleted after that attack, I guess. Yeah, that is fine, but we were able to at least hold our base for first time. So I'm happy with it. See, if you see this, it went up and then it landed just because there was no space to build this particular tech lab, this one. So that is working fine. I guess so. We're probably waiting on this mineral to build out our battle cruiser. Yeah, it requires 400 of this. So these are the battle cruisers that I was talking about. This, there are 3 of them. Our minerals are nearly depleted. So I'm not sure if we will be able to make a single attack on the enemy base. Let's see. Okay, so we are attacking and we are in good shape, I guess. Although most of our resources are destroyed, I think. Even this battleship is getting hampered. Oh, okay, I think this is also gone. Probably. We are able to destroy one base, but I think the enemy has expanded to a lot of different bases. Let's see what all resources we have right now. So we have couple of resources going on. So at least a good start, we were able to attack. So let me run this now. Okay, so we have our buildings ready. Let's see what we can do this time. Barracks are built, supply depots are going on. And then probably this is the factory, I guess. Yes, it's really all of them at one point. Also, what I'm thinking is we have to constantly attack after making our first attack. We need to send some reinforcements to let that attack continue. So after this, I think I will write one more clause. If else to send units continuously, but let's see what happens this time. So based on that, we will change our strategy. I mean, if you are an expert in this case, then you can go on and do lots of things on StarCraft. So I think probably this unit needs to be moved. This starport, it will be flying, I guess. Because for this, tech lab can be placed here, but I don't think so there's space for this. I think probably we have all the ground units to attack. It's just, I guess so we are waiting for one more battle cruiser. The resources are nearly depleted. And I think if we are able to hold our command center this time, then probably this time it will expand here. But let's see. At least the workers will definitely go here. Because command center depends upon the resources, and I don't think so we have that much of resource to make a new command center. But let's see. Okay, we have one more attack. Okay, so we have sent out some resources for the attack, and now see, let's hopefully this time we are in good shape. So it's going well. We have reached the base, and we have survived all the battle cruisers. 2, 3. Okay, we have 6 battle cruisers this time. I think this will be an overkill. 4 battle cruisers would have been enough. Yeah, it's going good. And yeah, this will be an overkill, definitely. So I think we have broken the first Townhall probably. This is also gone. Yep. So yeah, we will definitely have our first win. So this strategy will work. If I don't know how we can accept this. I mean, I wanted to accept this, but there's no way we can do it. So this will just keep on going until we destroy all the enemy units probably. Yeah. Okay, so we won. This is good. This holds good for Protoss as well. So I have changed it to Protoss. Let's see how we fare up Protoss. Because against Protoss, I think we'd still be able to win. Only against terrain, I have seen that this strategy requires some change in the numbers. So I usually reduce the number of Marines, I think, and I make more battleships. That's what I have seen. So let's see. See, sometimes what it does, if you see this time it made 3 starports. This is one of the things, because if it doesn't find a place now, it creates a new starport. This is a bug. It does sometimes this thing. But we don't have any problem right now. It's good. So I think probably after this they will go on for attack. Yeah. So let's see what happens against Protoss. Okay. So we got some enemy units here. It creates a kind of a shield. I don't know. So I think this we won't be able to survive this. At least our ground units will be gone. Let's see, we are able to send reinforcements as well. Okay, so here we have attack is going on. I'm not sure if we are doing that good against Protoss. They have lots of defenses. Plus they have secondary base as well. So this is kind of... I'm not sure what happened to this unit. It's not attacking anywhere. This is very weird. So Protoss also defeated. This is good. I'm not able to accept it. It will save some time for the video as well if we were able to accept it. This is big overpowered attack. We've devastated them everywhere. So yeah, see you in the next video. Goodbye.